eBird Mobile makes it so much easier to submit eBird checklists. You can track down target birds and even rarities all inside of this app. And in this video, I'm going to give you a full tutorial on how to submit a checklist, how to use the Explore tab, and how to use the My eBird section of the app. You do need an eBird account in order to submit checklists, which is really easy to create. Just go to ebird.org, make one, and then download the free eBird Mobile app. Once you open up the app, this is going to be what you see. You're going to hit the Start Checklist tab, and then if you don't have a bird pack installed yet, you can hit Suggested Packs. Since I'm currently in Colorado right now, we'll install the Colorado pack. And this just gets you a whole list of likely birds that can be found in your state and makes submitting checklists a little bit easier. So once you have your pack installed, you can go ahead and start a checklist. And you can put in your location by tapping this. It'll automatically select what location you're at. Sometimes it's not correct. You can also put in eBird hotspots. So I'm going to put in Cheyenne Mountain State Park. And then it'll get us a list of the most likely birds found in this area. And you can sort it several ways. You can have it sort by which is the most likely, or you can do taxonomic sort. You're going to put it in taxonomic order. I like to do smart sort just because it makes submitting checklists a little bit easier, because it's most likely that you're going to see the most common birds, so it just saves a little bit of time from having to scroll through a little bit longer and go through taxonomic sort that way. So unless you turn this feature off, which you can at the start when you're starting a checklist, it's going to track your distance. If you're just walking one way and then backtracking, eBird does ask you to cut that in half because they just want one-way distance, as it's a little bit more scientifically helpful. If you tap the plus button, it'll do one, and then every time you tap it, it'll add one more. You can remove it here, you can add details about the bird, or you can do a breeding code. If you want to search for birds, you can do that here. You can either type in the full name of the bird, evening grosbeak, and it'll come up, or you can do a 4-letter code, which is just the first 2 letters in each word. So for evening grosbeak, it would be EVGR. EV for the first 2 letters in evening, and GR for the first 2 letters in grosbeak. So that just makes it a little bit easier to find birds quickly, and you could even put in a number. So if you saw 5 evening grosbeaks, you could do 5 EVGR, tap on it, and it automatically adds 5 to evening grosbeak. You could do the same with subtracting, minus symbol, 5, tap on it, and it'll get rid of it for you too. So that's a neat little way to quickly add totals. If you saw a bunch of them, you could click on it and then just type 200, or you could just do it up here, put 200 in there, and tap on it, and it'll add it. Now, same with the website. If you put in an unusually high count, it's going to come up with a flag, which is just asking you to put in some extra details regarding that observation since it was unusual. For checklist comments, you can put them in here, or when we're done birding, you can put them in at the end. Right here where it says add checklist comments, it'll come up and you can put checklist comments in that way. You can also change your location here at the end and the observation type. You can also change number of observers here and time that you spent birding or distance. And finally, it'll ask you if this is a complete checklist of the birds you were able to identify, so make sure you answer that. And then once you're done with that, you can submit. Once you submitted a checklist, it's going to appear over in the checklist portion. And if you haven't submitted it yet and just saved it for later, like if you didn't have internet, when you were ready to submit it, it'll appear right here, and then you can submit it later. Submitted a checklist. This is synced with eBird Online. So if you were to submit a checklist on eBird's website at ebird.org, it'll also show up down here. And in here, you can edit any checklist just by tapping on it and then hitting the plus button, or you could do it up here in the top right. And next is going to be the Explore area. Now, this has some features that are similar to the website, but also has some things that the website does not have. So like the website, it shows you a whole group of hotspots, and then you can click on them and see what birds have been seen where. There's also a bar chart here to show you how likely that species is for that hotspot. Filters up here, you can filter for region and time period. And for target species, you can also choose what list you want to pull from. Down here, we can search for hotspots in the area or species. If we search for species, it'll show us a map of all the points that this particular species has been seen in this time period, a lot like the website. If we scroll down, we can see targets, nearby hotspots, when they're visited ones and non-visited ones. And if we click on these targets right here, this is going to take us to ebird.org and automatically get you to the right place. And so that's what all these down here, that is what they do. Next is my eBird section, and here it's going to keep track of all your lists. So if you click on this, you can see what species you've seen and when you saw them. Go out here, click on this arrow in the top right to change the region. So if we want to change it to United States, we can then see my United States list this way. And that's really about all there is in my eBird section. Lastly is settings, where you can change your account. You can edit your bird packs. Whether you want to delete them or install them, you can search for all packs here. You can change which language you want the bird's common names to be in. You can change if you want it to be common name, scientific name, which is Latin, or both of them when you're submitting checklists. You can also turn on showing subspecies, so if you saw a subspecies of a bird and you want to add it to your eBird checklist, you could do it that way. Choose if you want to see distances in miles or kilometers, what portal you want your checklist to be submitted to. That's it for eBird Mobile. If you found it helpful, go ahead and hit the like button, as this helps this video spread to more birders just like you. And if you want to see my full tutorial for eBird's website, go and click right here.